So, making a video on this area of Alba. I'm looking on my Facebook here, and I'm looking at, so I can kind of make this discussion a little bit more easier. Okay, so for the pictures that you actually do see here, first I'm going to make this real simple. There's 3 cars that I own throughout my life, and the car, the Plymouth Blue Laser car, I actually, it was a total junk car. Somebody sold me a car. It could run faster than the car could be floored. I've never been in a worse car ever in my life. And I was 18, 19 when I purchased it, and I had it for maybe about 8 months, and then I donated it to Dallas Can when I moved back home. And when I donated it, Dallas Can, for those who don't know, is for underprivileged teenagers that are trying to finish their high school and go to college. And they got several programs there. So I thought it'd be do something really nice. And since I had a place where I didn't have to pay rent and I could live back at my father's house, which didn't even last more than a year after, that I would be just donate the car and to someone that is in need. So that's what I did. Then I'm 20 years old when I buy my second car, 1998 white Honda Accord 98 white Honda Accord V6 4-door leather interior sunroof. Love the car. The car was the best car ever. I really loved that car, and it was probably one of my cars that I really enjoyed liking, maybe even more than a silver car. But that car I drove for a couple years until one day right before I turned 23, when I was throwing an event at that time, bringing Andy Caldwell to play at Club Mink, and I opened up the party, and then I had DJ Woody Rosen open up for the night for the headliner, and I threw the party with a few friends. I was promoting the party, driving my car to pass out flyers, and I was going to go work out, and the car ended up, some guy jilted his front car in front of mine, which targeted me and totaled my car. And the police officer that showed up there, I couldn't care less for my life. He literally told me, "You got 30 minutes to remember." He didn't even ask me if I was in good health or in any kind of way. This person absolutely didn't care. But they targeted me. I don't know how this all arranged, but I very much believe, even though I was very young, someone had set something up to total my cars, to run them. It was a very minor. It was just enough for me to skid on a wet road and hit the front of the car on their side, on the back end driver's side, and ruin the frame and engine, and it was just enough to total the car. So as far as the insurance, did the investigation, said it wasn't my fault, explained to them, and then I went without a car for a couple months until I got another Honda Accord Coupe, and silver V6 VTEC leather interior, beautiful car as well. Really love that car. And I got this car, so I had saved my money from when my father passed away. My father, when he passed away, I was left a little bit of money. There was $175,000 that was entitled to his name, and he was married to my mother. I was given $7,000. $7,000 I was given, so I saved that money in my bank account, and I didn't spend it. I wasn't going to go blow off the money or anything, because my father meant a lot to me. The money meant, I needed it, and I was going to, be wise with what my dad had suffered and worked so hard for. So I decided to, with the money I got from the insurance from my car that got totaled intentionally, I decided, well, I'm going to get me a nice car. So I got me a nicer car, because I always take care of car. Hopefully, I was thinking I was going to be driving the car for the next 15 years. And the car I purchased was like Total altogether was like 11,500 or 10,500 or something like that. 50,000 miles, bought it cash, beautiful car. A couple months later, when I'm 23, somewhere around March 23rd, February, I end up getting diagnosed. Few years to live, a year to live, less than a year to live. When that's over with, I drive the car, just for a couple of months before being diagnosed, and that was it. So I get treated, and this is the car that I drove from the age of 23 to about 28 years old. And that's the car that I drove, the two-door coupe, leather interior, Honda Accord, 2000 Honda Accord, where I got all the tickets. All the tickets that I've already posted on here, that was close to 30, something like 35, 40 tickets. I got all those tickets driving that car. And so when I first owned the car after my transplant, somebody sabotaged the transmission fluid and intentionally put the wrong transmission fluid. So I'm 24 years old after a bone marrow transplant, and the person that was fixing my car put the wrong transmission fluid change and started to threaten me. If you say anything, I know where you live, or shut your fucking mouth, or I'll send some people to come after you. And that's basically what the threat message was. And he was very direct. So I took my car to a different place, and I asked them, I said, what's wrong with the transmission? Can you tell me what's wrong? They told me that somebody put the wrong transmission fluid inside your transmission, and it completely burnt out. And the car had like 60,000 miles. It was like a brand new car. So the guy targeted me. So I had to borrow money from my uncle, from my brother, stepbrother in New York. And he was kind enough to lend me the money, which I was never able to pay him back, and all the efforts that I tried to work, because I kept on getting tickets in this car, and I was thrown to the streets and whatnot. So he let me borrow the money, replace the transmission. I drove, and then I kept on getting all these different tickets. I was just in debt. I had $20 a week to eat, I was eating sandwiches. I had no money. I had nothing. I had no money at all. Nothing. I was just getting into debt. I was getting tickets. Hair was falling out because I was so stressed. So when I got that car, I kept on driving it. I had it towed several times, and then I'd somehow scrambled to be able to get money to pull it out of the impound. My mom lent me money. My mom lended me money to pull this car out of the impound a few times. And she actually drove to the impound when my car got towed. So what happened was, I end up losing the car. I get it towed one day when I'm 29 years old. I'm 29 years old, and I can't afford to get the car out of the impound because I have warrants for my arrest because I had tickets that I owed. And I owed like a $1,500 worth of tickets, and I literally sat in jail for 10 days, and that's the most you can stay at a city jail before they transfer you somewhere else. But I didn't get transferred, so the judge said time served, and I don't know, it was 10 days that I spent in there. By the time I got out to see how much it was going to be to pull my car out of the impound, it was something like 25, it was like $2,000 or $1,500. I didn't even have money for rent. So they stole my car, and that had a brand new transmission. When the car got towed, it had something like 130,000 miles on it or something, 140,000 I think it was. It maybe even less. It could have anywhere from between 135 to 120,000 miles with a brand new transmission. So the car completely, I had the money that I had gotten from my father when he died, I had put into that car to buy me something nice, a good working car that I was going to take care of very well for the long run. And I did. I put the best oils in all my cars, Castrol, Royal Purple, for those that don't know, that's like $10 a quart. Best filters. I'd always change the spark plugs. And I buy the best spark plugs. I always bought air filters. I changed the transmission when it was needed to be changed. car was in mint condition. I took care of that car really, really well. So that's kind of what happened with that car, and they towed it. So whoever, when they, after stealing all the money from me from that car, after stealing all that money from that situation, they got to keep the car. This is I spent 7 years going to a nursing home for my father, and this wasn't a working deal, and this is what they made it out to be. But my dad wanted to leave me some money to make sure I could take care of myself, and it was over with. So they stole my dad's money, and my mom is actually the one that gave me that money. My dad's small inheritance money. My mother was the one that gave me that, and they stole the car. And the police officers pulled me over because they knew I had warrants and knew I was getting tickets, and that was it. That was theirs. And that's what they did with that car. And it was very painful. It was pretty emotional, not because it was the physical money of the car or anything. It was, I had spent so much time with my father, and this was money that he only gave me because he died. And the police officers targeted me, and they destroyed the transmission, and I kept on trying to make a life happen for myself, and they took the car anyway. So whoever got the car at the impound, and when they auctioned, they got a brand new car for free. I'm not joking. Whoever bought that car at the impound got a brand new car for free. I mean, because when they sell it at the impound, they sell it for dirt cheap, but they don't know that car has a brand new transmission in it, and it was taken care of by me. So whoever got the car, and they sold it for junk shit, and that's how the police officers work. They give you the tickets, they know they tow the car, and they do all this, and they know that's how they can steal from you and take money, not only from the tickets and threaten you by warrants and going to jail and all these things, but they'll take your property from you just because they want to. And they did that successfully. Never ever owned a car since then. I was 30 years old, 29 to 30 years old, and the car finally got taken. And that was it. Never owned another car again, and I'm 42 years old now. Today is May 28th, 2026. Maybe I'll get to own a nice car again one day. I pray to God that I do. Let alone own her for a long period of time is what I pray for. To drive a nice car, to drive myself to places I need to get to, grocery store, medications, or doctor visits. But that's just kind of what's going on with this. And like I said, I believe in God, and I had given a car that I paid off, my first car that I owned, that blue car. I paid $1,200 for that car, and I totally got ripped off. My mother actually gave me money for that. My mother gave me free money. And I asked her, and I said, "Can you buy me a car, a just cheap car? I just need a car." And my mom was nice enough to give me I think it was $2,000 is what my mother gave me. And my mother gave me $2,000, and with those $2,000, I was able to buy like a computer that I needed to educate myself. And I had nothing in my apartment. I only had clothes, like a backpack, and that was it. Everything else in the apartment was theirs. The bed, the refrigerator, all that stuff. So I able to talk the guy down a little bit, from like $1,500 to $1,600. He was initially selling the car and the apartment complex that I was at to $1,200. So bought it from him, and it was a total shit car. Totally got fooled, but it didn't matter. And my mother told me the same thing. That guy ripped you off. He stole the money from you. So I bought the car, and I drove for about 8 months before, I moved back to the house after a number of tragedies. And I was thinking, I was so blessed and so happy that God had given me a home back to live at my dad's house, in my safe home where I grew up, where I felt very safe, and I've always felt the safest. And when I did, I thought to myself, I'm going to get a job, and I'm going to buy another car, but I'm going to, hopefully God can see the nice token that I'm doing for someone, or someone out there that needs help, and is having strugglings in a moment. And what they do is they take I call the towing company, Dallas Can, or the donation, and they pick up the car, they have me sign some tax release forms, which I didn't file taxes, discount taxes, or anything like that. I just donated it, but they fill out forms that you're donating the car. I donate the car, and someone just doesn't get a car, but they can actually use it for parts. So they'll get the car and they'll take parts from it that's needed, or recycle it, or do all kinds of stuff strictly to benefit those that are in underprivileged kids, teenage kids that were in high school, finishing the high school or getting to high school, but planning to go to college. And so I thought I would do something nice with that. So that's what I did with that car. So that's the discussion.